Welcome back to the deep dive. Ready to go deep on something that's completely shaken up our world?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, so picture this. You're lounging in your PJs, coffee in hand, and you're at work.
Yeah, we're diving into the world of remote work today. But we're not just talking about comfy pants and ditching the commute, though that's definitely a perk. We're talking about a massive shift in how work gets done. Something that's impacted just about every industry and honestly, all of us in some way. I mean, think about it. Remember those early days of, when everyone first started working from home? It was kind of novel, right? Like, could this be the future?
Right.
But is it a passing trend or is this the real deal?
Well, for that, we kind of have to take a step back.
Okay.
Before 2020, working from home, it wasn't really the norm, was it?
No, not at all. It was a perk.
Yeah.
Something only about 24% of people actually got to do full time.
Yeah, it was a luxury for sure.
Then, bam, pandemic hits. And suddenly it's like everyone's thrust into this massive experiment in remote work. Nobody really asked for it. It just happened.
Totally.
Like the industrial revolution of our time, how we work, when we work, where we work, everything got flipped on its head.
Completely. And none of this would even be possible without, technology, right?
Right.
Suddenly everyone's on Zoom, glued to Slack, becoming Trello masters. It was like the whole world got a crash course in digital collaboration tools.
Yeah.
Like it or not.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, some of those early days were kind of funny looking back. I remember this one virtual happy hour thing that I don't know how, but it turned into a full-on dance party online with the webcam angles and, oh, God, But it just shows you, even when we're physically apart, we still find a way to connect. Like it's a human need.
Yes, it's fascinating. Right. And those little connections, those virtual water cooler moments, they were just about goofing off.
Yeah.
Studies actually show companies that were using those tools, those collaboration tools, their productivity jumped.
Mm.
Like some saw increases up to 47%.
47%.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's not just like a little bump. That's huge. But it does make you wonder, are we now like completely glued to technology in a whole different way? Is there a point where always being on, available actually starts to work against us?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? There's this company, actually, I don't know if you heard about this, but they're getting a ton of backlash right now because they decided to implement this AI software that actually tracks employees' keystrokes.
Really?
And screen time, all in the name of productivity, right?
Wow. That's getting into like Big Brother territory.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little creepy. I think it's a good reminder, though, this whole remote work thing, it's not just about fancy software or faster internet. It's about humans. It's about, being connected, but also having boundaries, healthy boundaries.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of, I got to admit, when I first started working from home, I fell into this trap of thinking, okay, now I can finally do all those things I've been putting off. Like I was going to be a master baker, yoga guru, you name it, I was going to do it.
Right.
And, let's just say my sourdough starter, it's still in therapy.
It's that work-life balance, right?
Yeah.
It's just got a whole new twist when you're remote. You trade in the commute for the possibility of always being on.
Yeah.
Which can lead to burnout, isolation, if you're not careful.
Absolutely.
And then there's the whole career development aspect. Like, how do you make sure you're not out of sight, out of mind when it comes to, promotions opportunities?
That's huge. And it's not just about us figuring this out on our own right. It's companies, too. They've got to be freaking out a little now.
Oh, absolutely. It's a whole new ballgame. Empty office buildings, talent pools spread out across the globe. Everything's different.
I mean, how do you even begin to build a company culture when your team is, working from their kitchen table across who knows how many time zones?
Right. You can't just throw a Zoom happy hour at it and call it a day.
Definitely not.
It takes effort, intention. And we're seeing companies really step up, coming up with a really creative virtual team building stuff. Like I've heard of escape rooms online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, collaborative playlists even.
Yeah.
Or like virtual cooking classes.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
Right. It's about finding those ways to connect that are actually engaging, fun, beyond just work.
Okay, so that's way better than another awkward icebreaker on Zoom, for sure.
It sounds like we're headed toward a hybrid future then.
Right.
Like a mix of in-person and remote, taking the best of both worlds. Yeah, everyone's talking about hybrid models.
Right.
And it makes sense. Employees want flexibility. Companies want to be able to tap into a global talent pool.
Right.
Plus, You can, have time for focused work, but then also get together and brainstorm face to face when you need to.
Yeah, but there's got to be some bumps in the road, right?
Yeah.
To get to this hybrid utopia, like what about time zones, cultural differences, making sure that everyone feels included and heard no matter where they're logging in from?
Yeah, those are all really important things to think about. I mean, communication's key in any workplace. But when you're talking about a hybrid model, it's absolutely critical. Clear expectations, regular check-ins, and technology that actually makes collaborating easy and seamless for everyone. Those are all
Yep.
pieces of the puzzle.
It's a lot. We've covered so much ground today. I guess the only constant in the future of work is that it's always changing, right? But if I had to sum it up, it seems like remote work is here to stay.
Yeah, I think so.
And it comes with a whole bunch of awesome opportunities, but also some new challenges too.
For sure.
And the future. It's looking pretty hybrid.
I think so. And technology is always evolving. Like, who knows what new possibilities and new challenges are coming next?
It's exciting, that's for sure.
It is.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all the possibilities. Until next time, keep diving deep with us here on The Deep Dive.